Hello friends. By the end of summer in 2022, I had sold both my CRF250L and my Africa Twin, and I decided that since I was wanting to ride mostly 50/50 and generally on forest service roads, I would look for a lightweight bike that would have decent power on the road to get me to adventure, solid wheels with tires that didn't require tubes, and I wanted more tech. This led me to what I think is the best small adventure bike in the category, and that's the KTM 390 Adventure. Before I start, be aware that I have photos, links, prices, and more on all of this stuff hosted on our website, and you can find a link to our site down in the details section of this video. Now let's get started. After hearing how much better the Leo vents exhaust made my Africa Twin, I decided to put one on the KTM. The OEM can is actually one of the lightest that I've seen on a bike, but I wanted a black slip-on, plus I knew that the Leo vents would sound better. Here's a little before and after. Another thing I gleaned from my Africa Twin project was swapping out the corny low front fender for a high fender kit. Whereas the Africa Twin upgrade was pretty intense and expensive, the KTM front fender change was under $100 and super easy to install. I rode the bike like this while waiting for other accessories to arrive. I prefer white, so I looked up factory OEM parts and ordered factory plastics in white. It's nice to have the option to switch back to black if I decide to, and I still haven't decided. I loved the shad setup that I had on my Africa Twin, so in preparation for doing the same on the KTM, I added their top mount with an adapter plate that will work with their Terra top case. The side case option is available in India, and Shad USA is working on making that available in the US as well. While installing the top rack, I ripped off the rear fender extension to make it look better. I think the T-Rex Racing skid plate is the best available. It offers excellent protection, and you don't have to remove it to change the oil filter, which is an option that shows they listen to their customers. The crash cage was on back order, so it didn't make it in this video. I went on the hunt to find a more integrated solution to replace the giant antler mirrors that adventure bikes have. I usually put a lot of work into custom solutions, but when I saw that PowerMat offers Sentinel handguards that feature integrated mirrors, I wanted to try these out. The mirrors are spring-loaded and can be moved inwards when storing, or you just want them out of the way. I was pretty pumped when I saw that the integrated DRL and turn signals alternated with my stock signals, which is a great touch that will help traffic notice me more. And by the way, PowerMat now offers aluminum brackets that help strengthen the guards. Electronic cruise is possible on the KTM, but pretty expensive, and throttle locks are a more affordable solution. I'd already used the Atlas throttle lock on my other adventure bikes, so it was an easy selection to run them on my KTM as well. When I opted for the high fender, I no longer had fork guards. The most popular solution was to cut up the OEM fender and just save the fork guards. But I wanted something that didn't look like an afterthought. I searched the world over, and I found a company in Greece called Sea Racer that made nice looking and great quality fork guards. This was a spendy option, but none of the other solutions looked as good to me. Since I was already ordering from them, I decided to order some of their other products. I knew I wasn't planning on adventure riding with a passenger, so I liked the idea of being able to add storage in the place of the rear seat. It gives access into the under-seat area and lets me put in some of the smaller essentials. I also saw some nice plastic replacements for the chain guard and the footrest guards on both the left and right side. They look better and are more solid than the cheesy OEM plastic ones. They also offer a knob that replaces the Allen bolt holding the windscreen on. This gives me a toolless adjustment option, and this is another one of those things that I think should have been OEM. KTM offers a convenient TPMS option, but it's expensive and lacks the ability that my Phobos systems do, which allow me to be able to reach over to my phone from bed at night before a ride and see what my tire pressures are. It's great to have the same TPMS option on my bikes from a single location, and at $100 this option is one of my first accessories on every bike. For my nav mount, I got an AMP adapter that I connected to a RAM mount. I generally purchase the best products I can find, but I opted for some cheap Amazon larger pegs with the idea that I can upgrade them later. So I don't recommend them as a preference, but they're decent to start with. It's easier to go cheap on a larger kickstand foot and the rear spools, as I think both of those are essentials to get. In case you're wondering what's next, I still want to get the bike louder, so I'll likely remove the baffle from the Leo Vents exhaust at some point and remove that huge smog part with a more attractive bypass. The stock tires actually do pretty well for gravel roads and pretty mild trail riding, but after I wear out the OEM tires, I'll look for a more aggressive 50/50 tire option. While on the topic of tires, I should point out that the Baja No Pinch you see advertised in places online all the time is an excellent choice for the ultimate tire toolkit. My website shows more on the tire kit and my gear, and I may do a video on these later in the year. My next adventure bike profile will be coming later in 2023, and I'm pretty excited to show you what it is and details on that, so make sure you check us out and come back later. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.